Hello, my name is Logan and I'm your host, the Mighty Pirate. In today's episode, I'm going over the Wolfhound. My sources for this are technical readouts 3039, 3050, 3085, and technical readouts prototypes. During the first two succession wars, the five great houses waged war on a scale that exceeded even the Ameris Civil War, using every weapon known to man. These two wars devastated numerous systems, rendering hundreds of planets uninhabitable, and reduced mankind's technology base to barely that above the early age of war on most advanced planets, and many other planets were left far worse. That was just the beginning. Operation Holy Shroud arguably did just as much damage to the Inner Sphere's technology base in 5 years as the Succession War did to themselves in the first 200 years of the Succession Wars. While the Inner Sphere destroyed material infrastructure, Comstar ROM agents assassinated hundreds of researchers and lead engineers. Technological development and reconstruction were set back by years for each and every head researcher, professor, and innovative technician that was murdered. They were all victims of a secret policy aimed at keeping the Inner Sphere in the dark until the day that Comstar could easily swat aside the few remaining House forces and become mankind's savior, ending centuries of warfare. And despite these setbacks, human nature and ingenuity would eventually prevail. The first sign of the Inner Sphere's recovery was the unveiling of the Merlin heavy battle mech design in 3010. Since ROM, along with every other major policy in the Inner Sphere, considered the Outer Worlds Alliance to be backwater, even by periphery standards, no one foresaw that state as being the home of the first new battle mech design in centuries. 13 years later, Defiance Industry would duplicate the success with the innovative Hatchet Man, the first design created in the successor states. Not only was the Hatchet Man an important sign that the Merlin was not a fluke, but was also truly innovative for the full head ejection system, having a melee weapon integrated into the production model. Unbeknownst to anyone at the time, it was also a sign of the burgeoning relationship between the houses of Davian and Steiner. While Comstar's inner circle debated reviving Operation Holy Shroud once again, the testing of the Raven and the Cataphract in the Capellan Confederation put an end to the discussion. It was proof that humanity refused to slide backward any further in technology. However, it was expected it would take centuries until the Inner Sphere would recover to the level of the Lost Star League. That was, however, until the Grey Death Legion Mercenary Regiment uncovered and kept the Star League library database core on the planet Helm and presented it to the Lyrian Commonwealth in 3028, who immediately shared it with the Federated Suns. Shortly thereafter, Comstar struck a military aid deal with House Krita to counter the growing Davian-Steiner juggernaut. Though Comstar strove to strip advanced technology from Star League-era mechs before giving them to the Combine, Comstar's sloppiness gave the Combine some extra examples of advanced technology that the Combine set about reverse engineering. The Inner Sphere began unlocking secrets hidden for centuries and progressed now by leaps and bounds, and would continue doing so without much difficulty until the former Star League Defense Force, now calling themselves the Clans, would invade. After the success of designing and producing the Hatchet Man just years prior, Archon Katrina Steiner ordered the massive Commonwealth military industrial complex to capitalize on the gains made by Defiance Industries to produce a battle mech capable of hunting down and defeating a Cretan light mechs, known for embarrassing top-rated pilots in heavy mechs. Taking a page from the successful Desert Knights project, the Wolfhound mercenary group, known for its unwavering loyalty to the current Archon and House Steiner, was selected to test an experimental battle mech design in early 3028. Unlike the Hatchet Man produced by Defiance Industries, which had extensive help from the Federated Suns mercenary scientist group, the Wolfhound was almost entirely of Commonwealth origins, with only the full head cockpit ejection system needing outside assistance to address extended campaigns. It is armed entirely with energy weapons, meaning the 35-ton mech never needs to retire from the field to resupply. A single large laser allows it to maul most light mech designs, and at range, while the 4 medium lasers grant the Wolfhound a hefty short-range punch, such as its prime foe, the Jenner. One of the medium lasers is mounted rearward, allowing the Wolfhound to return fire against faster units that happen to get into that traditional blind spot. Though the design runs hot, with only 10 heat sinks, competent mech warriors simply rotate their weapons usage depending on the current fighting range. When fighting Jenners, Wolfhounds generally stay at range, but close in under minimum range of the particle projection cannon when opposing Panthers. Like the jointly designed Hatchet Man, the Wolfhound also possesses a full head ejection system, allowing the mech warrior to safely eject in a wide variety of hostile environments. Despite requiring the mech to be in a vaguely upright upright position with the projected flight path free of obstruction, this radical system has already saved countless pilots' lives. Eventually, Wolfhounds made their way into the ranks of the mercenary brigade of the Wolf Dragoons, in addition to the Hellhounds testing program. These two units went on to test the design through the rigors of the Fourth Succession War, and its performance impressed many of the observers. They particularly excelled against the Combine's light mechs, like Panthers and Jenners. After the war, the Federated Commonwealth Alliance ordered large numbers of Wolfhounds to equip its light units in both Alliance militaries. By the War of 3039, the Wolfhounds were spread between the two houses' military, and most of their loyal mercenary units. Unlike many of the other designs, the Wolfhound took very few casualties during that one-year engagement, and only a handful made it into Cretan hands. The Combine was impressed with the machine, but was too prideful to copy an inferior house's design, so the Combine dissected all the mechs in an attempt to counter the Wolfhound, leading to the development of the advanced Wolf Trap almost a decade later. The Wolfhound would continue to be produced until about the time of the Blake Uprising. With 11 official variants, I would argue that each variant is more advanced than the version before, which in the era of the Sphere was very difficult to maintain. There would also be a clan upgraded version of the Wolfhound based off of Felon Kell's Wolfhound, the Grinner. It is very unclear if this was a one-of mech design or if it received a limited production run produced by Clan Wolf. Either way, the Wolfhound 2C is improved with better range, cooling, armor, ECM, and AMS. The 2C variant spared no expense in innovating the design, and on the field it shows the value of this investment. That will conclude my video on the Wolfhound. Thanks so much for watching. I hope to see you on the battlefield.